Hey, this is Glenn. Welcome to another episode of Difficult Questions. This one, who do you trust? Who do you believe? This all started because I got into it with a guy I know that he was my business coach. So I know him, but he's a huge Trump supporter and a huge Elon Musk fan. You know, those two guys have done a lot of stuff in front of people's faces where you just think, at least I just think, no. But he, especially on this Department of Government Efficiency thing, he was talking about how he basically believes Trump at his word and Elon Musk at his word that he's cutting out fraud. And there just is so much evidence that both those guys are fraudulent. Even having a car sale on the White House front lawn, you just think, come on now, come on. And I know this guy, so it just blew me away. Right? I can't figure out what he's not seeing or what he doesn't want to see. And it would be great to just throw it away as, oh, he's an idiot, but I know the guy. And so it really got me thinking about who we trust and who we believe in and why. My grandfather and my parents really ingrained in me to be trustworthy, to always tell the truth. And there was just no excuse, especially on some certain things. I remember my little sister hitting me, and I was at my grandfather's house, and so I hit her back, and he said, "You do not hit girls." But, and you start to justify, you start doing the human justification thing. And he said, no, you don't hit girls. So for him, that was a stop. And I realized that humans had this stop in them. And the stops are different because that guy was also, he thought it was perfectly okay to take his cane and lift women's skirts to women he barely knew because he was of that generation. That was acceptable. You're a gentleman if you don't hit women, but you're allowed to be kind of this skeezy sexual guy because boys or men. And nowadays, that's not allowed. You don't do that, right? So the lines are shifting for people. And in politics, it's so far removed from your day-to-day as a person. You don't know these people, and they are being asked to make decisions where they have to choose some life over another life. This could be in war, but it also can be economically. The thing that we ask, though, I've noticed historically in politicians, is that they put on a good front, that they seem like decent human beings. But I don't know them, and I know that fraud is happening. I know that corruption is happening. You hear about it in different ways. You see it in different reports. So you know it's happening to a certain level. But what level of fraud are you and lying are you able to accept for someone that may be your representative? And for me, it was always, well, since I don't know these people, it's going to be something they do that I can see that is either going to make me trust them and make me believe them or not. And in growing up, I've learned not to trust anybody, which has its downsides. I don't really build community because I don't feel that anybody is going to do what they say, because they'll come up with a reason why. It's just been my life experience. So I voted for hope and change twice, so Obama. But I remember the first time I decided, nah, I'm not going to believe this guy, was the BP oil spill in the Gulf. And Obama gave a speech to the American people where he said he couldn't legally intervene into BP's spilling oil into the Gulf. And I just thought, you're the president of the United States. I don't buy it, right? And that's very personal for me. Same thing for Trump. When that audio in 2015 leaked that he grabbed people by the crotch because he was a celebrity and they would let him, I just thought, no. I mean, those are the stops for me. They're very personal, and I'm kind of done. And for Elon Musk, it was just this building of things, but I thought it was ridiculous that he'd always set timelines for the release of vehicles and products and then never make those timelines. He'd never make those deadlines. And I just thought, okay, this guy is just making things up. And you get what you can get from him, but who knows what's going on. And he's dealing on a level that I will never be able to deal at. So he's obviously got a lot of stuff that I don't see. He's working with a lot of people that do things that I don't do. So I don't know any of that stuff. But I just know that that guy cannot make his own deadlines. So I'm not believing anything. I'm not trusting that guy at all. Last one is the great liberal love for Fauci during COVID. But when that guy admitted that he lied to the American people about not needing to wear masks because he was afraid there weren't going to be enough masks for medical personnel, I get it. He's in a position where he needs to make sure there are enough masks. He doesn't trust that the American people are going to not hoard masks out of fear. So he lied to the American people. I understand. I'm just not going to believe anything you ever say. And those people are really far removed from me, so that's not a problem. What I realized are the people around me will also come up with reasons to not deliver on something they've promised, or they will not do something that they say they will do. One of the things that made this really apparent to me is I was married, and I realized because my wife and I had different priorities, if I wanted something done or purchased or something for me and it didn't align with her, she didn't want me to do it, but I still wanted it. So then I was at this conundrum of, well, do I tell her the truth that's going to upset her, or do I lie to her or deceive her or do it around her back so she doesn't have any knowledge of it? And when those thoughts started getting into my head, I thought, oh, I can't be married because my grandfather and my parents are saying, no, you always have to tell the truth. You always have to be trustworthy. So if that happens in a marriage, how do you trust and how do you believe the people that are leading you? They've got different lives that you don't even know about. I don't know. And my world is a very specific world. It's a world of getting hit by distracted drivers who destroy my life and then come to me crying and saying, I'm so sorry. So that world has made me very nihilistic. The world is absurd. You never know what you're going to get. And I'm okay navigating the world as best as I possibly can and really expecting nothing. But some people need that idea of stability. They need to believe in their leaders. So we get this thing of my liberal friends loving Fauci because he seems like the only rational voice in this irrational world of the COVID pandemic. And you even get people like my business coach, who I learned from, who has taught me a lot, absolutely telling me that Trump and Elon Musk are going to stop fraud in the United States. And I just think, how do you not see this? But they don't want to, or those two are not committing the type of fraud that really bothers them. The type of fraud that bothers them is the small fraud. So my mother once admonished a teacher that she knew, because that teacher was enjoying her privileged position of only having to teach half a day, but getting paid a full salary. And this country is about what you can get. I would think that's fraud on some level, because she's getting public money to be a teacher. And even though the principal knows she's only working half a day to get paid a full salary, well, why did the principal put her in that advantaged position? Why is that? That's not an honest day's pay for an honest day's work, but it is working smarter, not harder, which is something we also do. This country is about what you can get. But that kind of fraud upsets my business coach friend. Selling cars on the White House lawn fraud apparently doesn't bother him. And I've come to the conclusion that it's because Trump and Elon Musk have money. And my business coach is an entrepreneur, and so he will always defer to the ability to make money. Making money is the right way. Where the teacher, the federal worker, is a day laborer, is not good at making money. So we don't need that type of fraud. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Who do you trust? Who do you believe? And why? Thanks.